Welcome to the debauchery. We have such sights to show you.
Here's Johnny!
All you have left is my desire for you.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Welcome back to Fright Flick FMK. As always, I am your host, Jay. And on this week's episode, we will be covering a 2013 horror thriller drama called Big Bad Wolves. I came across this one on Effed Up Movies, but I believe it is also on Tubi. So you could check it out for free there. I'm 99% sure it's on Tubi. This one is I don't want to say this the wrong way. It's an Israeli movie, maybe? Israel movie. This one is, I think, the first one I've come across that I've watched that's an Israeli. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. But so this one is subtitled. The language is in Hebrew. This one was only it's about an hour and 50 minutes, a little longer. But I stumbled across this one today. A lot of times I get on websites and like effed up movies and just look for something different. I wanted something something that you don't really hear a lot of. I like seeing movies like that and I like talking about them. So this one I was just scrolling through titles and this one kind of jumped out at me and decided to give it a watch. And once I was done, I wanted to do a show on it. Now, this one, it falls under the horror thriller thing. A lot of movies like that, it either sometimes, some people may watch it and think, well, I don't consider it horror. It's more of a thriller type thing, but I think it falls underneath the horror thriller type movies. So this one, I will say, a little warning if you haven't seen it. This movie does go into like child abduction, child like, pedophile type shit. I will say it's not going to give you nothing graphic, so I don't want that to turn you away from it. I think it's going to show some really fucked up shit. It doesn't. Now, me, I am a big fan of, nothing is off limits for me when it comes to like horror movie type stuff. Nothing turns me away. Nothing makes me go, oh, I can't watch that. I'm not going to do it because of this reason. I'm a fan of the really fucked up type movies. I love the gore. I love anything like that. So nothing turns me away. But I will give that to let you know that this is kind of what this movie is about, is child abduction. And so what I want to give you is basically this is right off of IMDb is where I get this, like the storyline of kind of what this thing's about. So don't think this is me coming up with something fancy because it's not. The storyline of this one, Big Bad Wolves, a series of brutal murders puts the lives of three men on a collision course. The father of the latest victim, now out for revenge, a vigilante police detective operating outside the boundaries of the law, and the main suspect in the killings. The main suspect is going to be a religious studies teacher. Basically gets arrested and released due to a police blunder. So that's kind of the backstory on this one. This one is one of those that it's kind of slow in the beginning, but stay with it. The storyline of this one is a fucking twist that I didn't see coming. You know, I was sitting there, you're watching movies and you're trying to kind of piece it together and you're coming up with your own, oh, I bet it's this, I bet it's that. This one, when it gave me the twist, I was watching it and like out loud was like, holy shit. Did not see it coming. Now, this one, and if you're new to this show, before I get into the movie, we rate them here on Fuck, Marry, Kill. You know, marrying it being the best, fuck being a friends with benefits, and killing it being the worst. You don't want to see it no more. So that's how we rate them. Um, I know, one of the things I'm big on and that I look for in horror movies, I am a gore whore. Like I look for any type of, you know, I'm a fan of the torture type shit, the anything. It's just I like it all. So that's one thing when I do watch movies that I really pay attention to is if you give me some good killing and shit like that, I'm a big fan of it. This one I will say you're not going to get a bunch of killing. I think in the whole movie there may have only been like one or two, and one that you actually see. The other one is kind of like it happens, but you don't see it happen. But and this one is it's going to start you off like I said. It starts off kind of slow. We start off with some kids outside playing hide and seek. Um, there's no parental supervision where these kids are playing, you know, and like the one little, it shows a little boy, he's like up against a tree, covering up his eyes. You got two little girls, they run off to go hide. They go inside this like kind of abandoned, rundown looking building. Um, one of the little girls goes inside of this, it looks like a cabinet, almost closety looking, like a locker, like a wall locker kind of thing is what it looks like. And the other little girl, she goes back outside and hides in one of these like concrete type things, like concrete drains where they put underneath the like roads and stuff to drain the water. And the little boy comes and starts looking for him. And he easily finds the little girl in the cement, you know, the little cement drainage thing. And when he finds her, um, it looks like she just takes him in there to where the little girl is at. Like, damn it, girl, like that's not the way the game works. Like she just it looks the way it looks like she just walks a boy in there to the little locker where she's the little girl's hiding it. And the little girl, when I say she's young, um, like I said, I'm terrible at judging ages. Maybe 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there, maybe. In my opinion, too damn young to be out playing hide and seek by themselves. But so when the little boy goes to the locker and goes to open it up, when he opens it up, the little girl is not in there. All you see is a red shoe um, that's just sitting there on the floor of the locker. And then you see the little boy and the other little girl's kind of standing outside. And he's holding that red shoe, and the little girl is not there. Now, this is we get to some police officers. They are investigating this because it's not just this one little girl. This has happened to numerous little girls who have gone missing. And the thing is they find the body. But when they find the bodies, there are no heads. The heads are missing. They're just finding the bodies. And so we get these police guys, and they got this one guy that they're dragging in there. He is going to be in the description when I said the school teacher, and this is the dude they're dragging in there. They all have names. I can't pronounce them, and I don't want to butcher their names, but if you go to IMDb, you'll see the cast. Um, yeah, their names are pretty confusing. Well, not confusing. It's just terrible and hard for me to pronounce. And even if I tried, it wouldn't be even close right. So check them out on IMDb. But you're going to get these police officers. They're going to be bringing this guy in there. And the thing is that these police officers suspect that this guy is the dude that has been kidnapping and killing the little girls. They take him in there. He's got a couple guys with him. They're gonna rough this dude up, you know, slap him around a little bit, try to get some answers. Police officer He has him a big old phone book he pulls out, beating the shit out of him with it. And while all this is going on, though, there is a teenage boy that's seeing all this go down and he's recording it. And you already know, like most kids and teenagers, they're going to upload that shit to YouTube. And so that's kind of how this thing starts off. They got a suspect that they think is the guy who's doing it. Now, in the description, when they said that the dude had to get released based off of police blunder, a lot of it has to do with the fact that one of the police officers there just didn't believe him. He believed the dude when he said he didn't do it. And so it was kind of like just going to let him go. Well, then, of course, later on, this video is going to surface. And now the police department's got a black eye because this video surfaced and all you're seeing is like police brutality. And you see the school teacher, when he goes home, he's kind of this like normal looking guy. He got his little bicycle, he rides back and forth to school every day, and you see him go in his house, and he's got like a little spot where he hangs his bike up and he goes home every day. Just a normal dude is what he looks like. Every now and then you see him, he's out walking his dog and stuff. So the it's going to come, it starts coming after all this goes down and they released a dude after they beat the shit out of him, the one dude didn't believe him. But then back at the police station, the one main cop, he is sitting there with his boss, the big boss chief, and he's basically telling him like, hey man, we got to find this little girl. If this little girl turns up, and because I was wondering when I first seen it, it took me a second to figure out when he makes a comment like if she turns up, missing her head, and I'm like, well, damn, that's kind of extreme. But then I realized that this has been happening. Like this is a dude that has been kidnapping little girls, assaulting them and stuff, and then cutting their heads off. And so while he's in the police department, the one police officer with his big boss man, he's in there with him. And while they're in there, they get a phone call to the police station. And he kind of puts it on speakerphone. And the dude you hear him talking. Somebody comes on there and is like, hey, you're looking for blah, blah, this little girl. I know where she's at. Well, then big boss chief sends out his police guys to go track this little girl down, see if it's legit. So when they're out there, it's just two cops. And they kind of split up looking around. Well, one dude comes across a trail of like gummy worms on the ground out in the woods, a trail of gummy worms. And when he's following this trail, he sees it something. When you see his face when he sees it, he has this like, oh, fuck, shock look. And he gets on the radio, calls for the other main cop guy, who's the main guy in this movie. He comes running over there. And this is the part where when there's parts in movies where it just kind of catches you. You don't expect it, but this one had that moment where you're going to see this little girl. Now, the first shot you're going to get, and this is where this one is kind of fucked up. But she, in the middle of the woods, this little girl is sitting in a chair. And all you're going to see on this one shot is basically from the bottom of the chair looking up. So you see her from like the knees down. And in this shot, you could tell that her ankles are tied to this chair. Looks like with wire because she's got blood all around her ankles. And then it shows her panties are pulled down around her knees. And the other police officer shows up. They, of course, call it in. Other people showing up. The big boss shows up. And in a shot, you see it kind of in the background. You see the shot where her head is missing. So this dude has caught that little girl, the one they're looking for, and now they had the body. You can tell the way she's been tied up to that chair, the panties around her ankles. And so he basically, the big boss, told that one main police officer to like, hey man, you're off the case. Like, because he told him like, hey, if this girl turns up missing and we find her and all this, you're off the case. So he basically tells him like he's off the case. He's going to hit somebody else. So while he is walking away, the father of that little girl shows up. And of course he's fucking hysterical. The police officers are having to hold him back. They're not letting him go over there. He can see from a distance. He can see that body with no head on it. He knows. And when the police officer dude walks by him, he looks at him, they make eye contact. And he just kind of keeps on walking. And so now we got the little girl that she's found, head is missing. What it's going to get into is this YouTube video is going to surface. And now all of a sudden, all the eyes are on the police department. When this YouTube thing surfaces, of course, all the kids at school, everybody's seen it. They've seen that, hey, that's our teacher. The police officers had him thinking he was doing these crimes. So now everybody just assumes that he's the rapist, the pedophile dude, the one killing all these little girls. You know, nothing's been proved, but everybody fills in their own blanks and shit like that. And so there's parts where he's in the school, kids are like, you know, there's a kid that makes a drawing of him like with an axe and a little girl. They writing shit on their test papers, calling him a rapist and all this stuff. You know, the shit's really against him. And all because of the YouTube video. Well, then the one main police officer gets called to the big boss chief's office. Big boss chief has the YouTube video pulled up. Now it's out. It's the police department's tracking it. Everything's tracking it. And he basically tells this dude, like, you're done. Like, they've got you on video abusing this dude, and you had no reason. And so basically he fires him, like, you're fired. But then he tells him before he leaves, because the dude still wanted to, he's like, man, I know it's him. But then the big boss chief tells him, he was just like, well, you're not a police officer anymore. You're a civilian. Civilians can do whatever they want until they get caught. And so it was like the big boss chief's giving this dude the green light to go handle whatever he feels like he needed to handle to figure this thing out. Well, the police officer is going to start surveillance on this teacher. There's going to come a point where he's outside his house, he's watching him. But while he's out there, you will see somebody else watching him. Like the police officer dude is getting watched also. And when you find out it is the dad, I was like, hell yeah. When I seen it with the dad, I was like, this is about to turn into one of those. Daddy's going to get his revenge on this little sick fuck. And that's what I was like, oh, here we go. You know, and the dad's on a mission. So the dad, he goes out, because you'll see him. He's out he gets a phone call from a lady. Come to find out his realtor. And she has found him this little cabin thing out in the woods. He rides out there to check it out. While he's in there looking around, he just out the blues like, hey, what's the basement like? And when they said that, I was like, oh yeah, he's got his torture house now. This is where the shit's gonna go down. And so she takes him down in the basement. He's going to actually have her stay in the basement while he goes upstairs, and he wants her to scream as loud as she can. And he plays it off. He's like, oh, my son's got a drum set. He's going to want to be playing his drums. I want to make sure I don't hear it type shit. But he's testing this thing out. Well, he decides, hey, I'm going to take it. I'm going to buy it. Well, then we got the cop, who is now a civilian. He's making his plans. While all this is going on, the cop, it shows him with one of these little stun guns, you know, little things electrocute people with, little taser looking thing. And then we got the dad getting his cabin ready. And he's got like setting up a chair down in the basement, putting straps on it to be able to strap somebody down. I was like, oh, hell yeah. You know, because it gets to this point where, like, damn it, you want the dad, you want it all to be the way I want him to get the revenge. I want him to just fuck somebody up. And I'm all for that, people. I am 100% for it. I'm a big believer that when it comes to little sick fucks out there who do shit like that to kids, you know, you are a sick motherfucker. And I am all for you getting the worst possible treatment, however, because I don't think they should get, you know, just jail time when they get caught. If you're gonna put them in jail, that's fine. But I think when the court hearing's over, when they say a sick fuck is guilty, I think that there should be a room in the courthouse to where they take him or her. That shit goes both ways. take them to this room, have them escorted to a room, and put them in a chair, handcuff them to this chair. And at the same time, the family members get to follow them up into that room. And I feel like the police and whatever should just leave the room and be like, you got 10 minutes. Do whatever you want, but you can't kill him. You don't kill him. That's too easy. That's an easy out. Don't kill him. But don't give you 10 minutes to do what you want to do, to do whatever. You know, I'm completely fine with that. And so when it gets to this part in the movie where he's getting his little his cabin set up, and I'm ready for it, like, oh yeah, he's gonna fuck this dude up. But one thing I will say with this movie that I noticed as I'm watching it, they put a little twist of a humor side in this movie. There are certain parts when things are going on, it's almost funny. And at first I'm like, well, holy shit, they're making some of this shit kind of funny when it being like a child abduction type fucked up type movie. But I like that. It was different because there's parts in it to where something to be going on and you'll catch yourself. It's funny, like some stuff that gets said. The dad in this movie, I wish I could pronounce his name. The dad who lost a little girl. He is so fucking good. He is comes across as super creepy, but not in a bad way. Like, you're pulling for this dude. I liked him because he was so mean, hateful, and then kind of just, there's a part where he's in the kitchen making a fucking cake, and you'll understand all that when you see it. But he's making a cake, and while he's doing this, he's got like this smile on his face, like he's having, and they got this music playing. That's just a little happy music. Like it's this happy making this cake. This music's playing, and watching him make this cake and watching him like taste the frosting. There's parts in this movie that are funny like that, and because it's going to get down, and because this is one that I don't want to spoil nothing. If you've seen it, that's fine, you know it. But if you haven't, because I'd never heard of it until I came across it, and I feel sure there's people out there who haven't heard of it or haven't seen it. But the police officer is now after the teacher. The dad of that little girl is also after the teacher. And so when they go after him, one's going to get him, the other one's got it. They end up coming together because of the same thing. Like the dad wants that dude because he believes he did it. The cop believes he did it. And so they're going to come together. And the dad's basically told he's going to tell the police guy, like, dude, I'm going to do this to this guy. And there's a reason why he helps him. There's a reason why he decides to help him. And when you watch it, you'll see it, because he basically gives the police officer at this point is going to have no choice but to help him, because it's not going to look good if he doesn't. So they're going to come together like a little duo to get the answer they want out of this guy, because all the dad wants, the dad knows he's already lost his little girl. All the dad wants is to find out where he buried the head of his daughter, because his marriage is falling apart. They've lost the little girl, and he's just like, I got to be able to, I need to bring that home. Like, he needs that closure. And so he's basically going to tell this cop, like, hey, and like I said, you'll understand why he's helping him. But he's like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do to this guy. And the police officer's kind of like, well, I'm with you until he confesses or he gives up the answer. Like, he's going to support it and back it until he gets his answer. But the dad he's going to fuck him up. That's his plan. Like, this dude is going to die. There's a part in this, because once he gets him, and this is probably my favorite part of this movie, is when he catches him. I say it's a favorite part because it's really fucked up, but I like it. But just the way the dad is acting, he's so good. Go to IMDb and look him up if you see it. The dad of the little girl, he is so fucking good. But when he gets him and he starts to question him, he sits down to read like a story. He's almost going to read it like a little child storybook, and he's going to start reading off, and it's going to be about the killer, because he made comments about how there's just like a wolf, and he's basically there's this wolf and he kidnaps little girls, and he basically tells him like he tells that teacher like you're the wolf. The teacher is literally strapped down to this chair, his mouth kind of ragging his mouth, he can't talk type shit, and he starts reading him this story, and in the story it's going to go into details about how this killer is doing this to these little girls. Basically it starts off with how he like gets little girls with like candy and whatever, and there's a process in the way he does his torture and killing, the way he does it. He in there it talks about, he says as he's reading this little makeshift story to this guy, he's just like, yeah, he takes his penis out and he puts it in all the holes of these little girls, and then he's going to like he feeds them and sedates them and knocks them out. Then he goes in and like rips all of their toenails off, and then when he says that, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, that's your trophies, dude. That's his trophies. You see a lot of shit on killers and stuff. They always have something to try to hold on to. And when he said that about how he takes all their toenails off, and I was like, oh, this little sick fuck back at home probably got a damn jar of fucking girl toenails somewhere. And so, and then after he does the toenail thing in the story, he's telling him, what he does is he waits until they heal up, till like their feet get better. And his final thing that he does is he chops their heads off with like this like rusty saw, like a hacksaw, like hacks them off. And so, and while he's reading him this story, it's the way, what I liked about it when he does it, how when people read a story and they're flipping pages, they kind of lick their finger. They'll do like a little dab on the finger and flip the page. He's doing this in this so calm type of way. And he pulls out these pictures, he shows it to him. This dude is saying, oh, I didn't do it type thing. And then it is going to get into where they want answers. So him and this police officer are going to basically do the same things to him that he was doing to these girls, where they're going, because he also broke the fingers of the little girls also. And so the torture is going to kick off, and he's going to want to break the fingers of him. Like, we're going to do it, just all the shit you did to these girls, we're going to do it to you. And so they're going to start off wanting to break fingers, and it's going to get into where they're going to go for them toenails, man. And oh, it's such a painful thing. If you've ever had anything happen to like a fingernail or anything, it's so fucking painful. But this little fuck, I'm sitting there, and at this point, you don't know. You don't know anything. They just believe he's the guy. And there's parts in this, I'm telling you now, if you haven't watched it, to pay attention to. Earlier on, before they catch this guy, there's a part about, you'll see some little girl ballerina practice. Remember that part, because there's going to be a twist. And I am not going to spoil this one, because I like the fact that I had that holy shit moment when I watched this thing. Everybody in this movie was so good. I enjoyed it. It was fucked up because of what it's about. But like I said, I enjoy fucked up movies. It's a movie. I do like movies sometime to where things can really happen. I like a movie that will show me something that realistically I can look at it and be like, that shit could really happen. Like it could really be that way. And this is one of those movies. This is one of those movies that the shit that goes on in this movie could really, really happen. And it's going to all come to a head at the end, and it's going to be. It's good, man. A part of me wants to talk about it. A part of me I wish somebody was sitting here with me, and who has just watched it, and I can just kind of back and forth and be like, "Holy shit, what about that? What about that?" type thing. But it's just me flying solo, and so not many. Like I said earlier, there's going to only be like one kill you'll see. It's not nothing crazy. This was not one of those movies that's going to like test your limits of like, do you want to know how like how much is too much? Like when it comes to certain movies, some people have their limits. Like I can't watch that, and I'm not going to watch that. This isn't one of them that's going to like test that, in my opinion. Like I say, and like I told you in the beginning, it is about child abduction type thing. And if that's something you can't, hey, I get it. I will say it's not going to show. There's nothing graphic you're going to get seen other than that part in the beginning where they find the little girl, and all like I said, it shows you a quick second of it, and that's it. But you need to check this one out. It is. I am so glad I seen it. I am definitely going to be looking more into Israeli. Man, I hope I'm doing that right. Type movies. There's another one that this same director did called Rabies. I'm going to be checking that one out. It was so good. Subtitles do not bother me. I watch subtitles on everything. Any movie, I always have subtitles on, so that doesn't bother me. About almost 2 hours. Starts off kind of slow, because there's a part of you that just wants it when he gets the dude. I'm sitting there like, I just want him to put the fucking pedal to the metal and just fucking go in on him. And there's things that happen and stuff that goes on to where it's kind of like, damn it, just fucking do it. But then at the same time it happens, and some of the stuff is kind of funny. So I appreciate the fact that this director put this humorous type spin to something like this, because that may piss other people off. Like, a movie like this and you want to make it kind of something funny about it. But I liked it. It made it good to me. Once again, the little girl's dad, the main guy that's after for revenge, he is so fucking good. Just evil, creepy, and funny kind of at the same time. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil it, but fuck, I want to keep talking about it, but I'm not. We're going to cut it off, and you're going to have to go watch this one. I would like to know what other people think about this one, if you have seen it. If you have seen it and you know the twist and everything, I'm curious to see what you thought about the movie. I'm going to rate this one right now. There's a part of me, for me, I enjoyed it so much. And what helped me enjoy it was a little bit of that humor type parts in it that I found funny. Other people, you might not find it funny. That's why my sense of humor is as dark can be, and I'm fucked up. And, that made me like it more. But I was on the line. I almost married this thing. Almost. Up until the ending of it, because then it's one of those I'm like, well, I'm not going to have that oh shit moment again. But I would be all for sitting down with watching it with other people, somebody else who haven't seen it, or have somebody watch it and then talk about it, kind of their thoughts on it and stuff like that. So for this one, this is going to fall on a fuck for me. This is going to be the Friends with Benefits. It's not one I want to pop in and just watch for the hell of it, but it's one I will go back to if, just to, do a watch party, because that's one thing I'm going to, just a little sidetrack. Eventually I am going to do the Discord. I want to get the Discord set up to where start doing watch parties. So that's in the process, but to do something like that, to have it, to rewatch it on as like a watch party, have people come in on a Discord and watch it and hear people's reactions and stuff like that. So yeah, this is a fuck for me. I will go back to this one again. So now I want to know what everybody else thinks. You know, would you fuck it, marry it, or kill it? Yeah, I think that's going to do it. This was a good one, man. Go check it out. It's a fuck for me. Stop by in the comments if you're on Spotify. We're there. We're on Apple. Check out the website, frightflickfmkpodcast.com. Our email's there. Anything. If you're listening on Apple and all that good shit and you want to leave a review, I'd appreciate it, you know. I appreciate a little comment. You know, I'd like a comment. I like to hear what people's thoughts are. You know, I'm all looking for how to be better, how to make it better. I like hearing about the movies, but can't hurt my feelings, people. So yeah, that's I think that's gonna do it, man. I appreciate everybody who stopped by and listened. The numbers for the past couple of weeks have gone up. You know, I guess there's more sick folks out there, and that will take the time to listen to this shit show, and I appreciate it. But I don't know what next week's gonna hold. I don't know. Not sure yet, but I'm kind of in a looking for something really fucked up type mood. So looking for something really to scratch my gore whore itch, you know. So if anybody's got any suggestions, like I said, I tell you all the time, I don't have a plan, people. You can literally stop by in the comments, name a movie if I haven't talked about it. You know, I'm willing to check it out. I'm willing to get over here and talk about it. So stop by, let us know what you think of this one, though. Big Bad Wolf 2013. 99% sure it's on Tubi. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. That's another episode down, people. I appreciate you all hanging out. I appreciate you all stopping by, taking a few minutes out of your day to listen to me ramble on about a movie. Thank you again for everybody that stops by and listens. And until next time, people, this is that part of the episode, family, where I need y'all to reach over, grab your drinks. Y'all didn't think gentleman was here with me tonight, did you? Because I didn't really reach over and take no breaks tonight. Y'all thought, is he doing this thing fucking solo without the gentleman Jack? Hell no, I don't do that here. The gentleman Jack is here. Hold on one second. How's that gentleman Jack break? Thank you. Now, part of the episode, family, grab your drinks, put your chairs away, grab your shit, and get the fuck out of here.
So you like to listen to people talk about crime, but did you ever wonder why criminals do the things they do? Like what makes them tick? My name is Debbie, and I'm the professor at True Crime University. Join me in the classroom Thursdays, wherever you get your podcasts, for intellectual discussions about crime, psychology, and why criminals do what they do. See you there.
Welcome to the debauchery. We have such sights to show you.
Here's Johnny! All you have left is my desire for you.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.